I see you, Alita. I was looking for you. For all the people.
Where is she? How are you?
Good. We joke, you guys, that she's like my long lost soul sister, and we happen to share the same last name. Yes. I love this girl. We'll go ahead and get started because I know we're all super busy, and I know Alita's time is super valuable. She's got precious babies too, and I think she's an hour behind us, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I heard of Alita and her story and just knowing who she is through one of my good friends, Jennifer Leith, because they are very close, and Alita is one of her emeralds. And I'm not going to share her story. I'm going to let her share it with you guys, but it's a story that makes you cry. She shared it at convention, and what I want you guys to know is that her story is one of true inspiration. And what I feel is this business is all about when we talk about no excuses. I don't know if you could hear her story and then ever give yourself an excuse not to work your business, because it's very powerful, and I have so much respect and admiration for you, Alita. I mean, after knowing your story, I told myself, I'm like, I am never allowed to make an excuse to not work my business every single day. So I know my team is so pumped to have you on. We're so honored to have you, and thank you for saying yes to this call. So I will let you take it away.
Thank you. Well, what a super big honor. When Lynn Allen asked you to do something like this, you're like, yes. Super excited. I absolutely adore your leader. She is amazing. And you guys have such a great explosive team that inspires so many people who are watching and witnessing that. So super honored to be on here tonight. I've taken even down some notes of just things I wanted to share that has been on my heart. My team has just done a crazy, awesome turnaround in full momentum. And there are some noticeable things that have changed that I wanted to share. But first, I wanted to just share my story a little bit. And if you've heard me at convention, I'll synopsis it really quickly. I don't even know if synopsis is even a word, but I'm going to use it. So I started 2 years ago as an overweight, exhausted mother of 4 little people, and I was desperate for change. I was desperate for something that was going to help my health. I was desperate for something to make me feel better. So when I started Plexus, that was my heart behind it. And then once my husband and I were having amazing results, I was like, I'm gonna share these products. So 7 days in, I started sharing the products with Jennifer Leith, like, come on, girl, you can do it. Let's do this thing. And so we started doing it. So that's what I really want to just kind of pinpoint out to y'all tonight too, is that I started just like anybody else. I started with a $34.95. I had to go silver, and I was really just looking for a financial freedom opportunity for me and my family. I had the same dream and the same goal that we all on this call tonight. So I started that way. And, we got to Senior Ruby, and then my husband passed away unexpectedly. We didn't have life insurance. I was literally overnight a single widowed mom of 4 kids. And at the time they were 1, 3, 5, and 6. That is a lot of heavy stuff happening in our house. And so I really had to make a decision, and I shared this at convention, but I really had to make a decision at that point to how I was going to walk this out. And I decided to really put the Lord first. I wrote affirmations everywhere of just who I was, what it says in His word that I am. And I really took that to heart every day. But I worked this business like my life depended on it. And that's what I wanted to just share tonight, was that this is a job. You have to work it. And it's like I tell my team, I'm like, you have to work it when you feel like it and when you don't feel like it. But this is so real. If I could just come through this screen and grab your little faces and tell you, you can do this. There's no one busier, in my personal opinion, than a single mom. There's no one busier than a single parent, I should say. So I wanted to just touch on some excuses that we hear a lot of, and how we can overcome those, and how we can really persevere and push through and have that happen. So mindset was the first big thing for me, is I had to decide, okay, I'm going to persevere, I'm going to push forward, and I am going to do this regardless of what my situation is telling me, regardless of what the world is saying to me. Because at that time, I mean, it's like you should be, grieving, and you should be at home, and, all of these different things that the world is telling you should be doing. But I knew in my heart that this opportunity was placed and given to me, and I wanted to be a good steward. So we want to be good stewards of this opportunity that is provided to us. So what are we doing to be good stewards of that? Are we really working intentionally and on purpose, our business, to really, really make sure that we're pushing forward and creating momentum on our teams? So mindset was definitely huge. I had to get rid of any negative thinking, and that went with people who were negative around me. Any negative saying, I would just shut it down. You can't have that in your life when you're going for big things. When you're going for big dreams and big goals, you can't have anybody around you saying, you can't do this. You can't do this. I've heard it said that for every one negative thing you hear, you need 17 positive. So guess who's responsible to put that 17 positive in your mind? It's you. You can do these affirmations. You can listen to personal growth. You can listen to just some really good motivational things, but you have to be your own personal motivator. It has to happen. You have to do it. So one of the things I get a lot is I don't have the time. I'm just struggling for time. I can tell you right now that if I would have said I don't have the time, Jennifer Leith would have come over. She would have sat with me, and she'd have been like, I totally get it. You've been through a lot. This is crazy. So if anybody didn't have enough time, I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to be putting 4 kids to bed alone every single night, 7 days a week, and 7 mornings of the week, waking up with all 4, breakfast, lunch, dinner, school, packing backpacks, making sure everyone has their lunches and their snacks, all of those things. That is time consuming. That is hard. And there is no breaks. I know what it's like to feel like you're pulled in a million different directions. I know what a lack of time management can mean to your business. And for me, I had to get serious. I had to make sacrifices. And those sacrifices can look as simple as just turning your TV off so that you're actually focused and paying attention to your IPAs and what you have going on. But really taking it seriously and saying to yourself, if I really want this, if I really truly want the financial freedom and the time freedom that comes with that, that does not come from working your business 20 minutes a day. That comes from really putting some time in, putting some effort in, and most importantly, putting some positivity and putting influence into other people's life, pouring value into them. You really need to take some time and make sure that you're creating influence in your life and in your network. And that can come through posting on Facebook and being really positive and influential. That can come from talking to your friends and just pouring value into them. I love the word influence because it means pouring value into others. So really making sure that you are doing that. It is so, so important. So I wanted to talk about time blocking. So really making sure that you are putting the time into it, saying, okay, I'm going to set aside this amount of time to work my business consistently every single day. I'm going to be consistent. You guys hear this over and over and over again. So really my story, what it says and what I feel like, people say to me, well, how have you done it? How have you gone through all this? And you're still, working on your team and still building your team. And guys, it's not easy, but I feel like there's no victory that comes from things being easy. Victory comes when you're down in the trenches and you're struggling. We've all been in the trenches. Every single jewel has been in the trenches digging, and they have been looking, and they have been recruiting, and they have been posting, and they have been encouraging, and they have been reaching out when they didn't feel like it. You guys, I laid in my bed, lost my husband, lost my mom to cancer 6 months later, laying there and reaching out to people, even though I didn't feel like it, because I knew that I could do this. I knew that my team could do this. I knew that God gave me this opportunity, and I was not going to be not a good steward of it. I was going to give everything I had to this opportunity. So it took sacrifice. It took waking up earlier than my kids. It took saying, okay, kids, listen, this is how we're going to do this, making them part of it, making your family a part of it. I have done this business with a husband. I've done it with a helpful husband, and I've done it with a husband who's, busy and doing his own thing. So like a not so helpful husband. They were the same guy, and I've done this as a single widowed mom. My husband was super funny, so he would love that I said that. So, but I get it all. I get how hard it is when your husband's like, hey, come on, pay attention to me. And you're trying to do this kind of stuff. But I'm telling you, get them on board. Get the people around you on board and on fire. When you have a passion for something, people are drawn to it. They want to know, what are you doing that's making you so crazy awesome right now? You start to do things that are out of your comfort zone. I started doing live videos. That was way out of my comfort zone because people start to recognize, they're like, man, what's up with her? She's doing something out of her comfort zone. I'm not just posting about Plexus. I'm not just posting about my kids, but I'm doing something totally out of my comfort zone. People can see a change in me, and I want them to see that change. I want them to see I am chasing after this. This makes me want to cry. I am chasing after this dream with wild abandon because I know how possible it is. And I sincerely mean this when I say, if I could come through this screen and tell you, if you just kick your passion up a notch, if you just put your excuses down and you decide that this is worth it, that you are worth it, that your kids are worth it, that your husband's worth it, that your wife is worth it, this will happen for you. But you have to make that decision, not your upline, not your downline. This is on you. This is on me. This is on us as business owners, as CEOs of our own businesses. It comes from the top down. So if your team is not in high momentum, I encourage you, I've been there too. Look at yourself and say, am I recruiting like a crazy person? Am I out reaching out to 20 people a day? If you're asking them to reach out to 3 to 5 people a day, double it. Do extra. Go above and beyond what you would expect from someone below you on your team, on your downline, and start being the leader. Nothing is more important to me in a leader than somebody who can lead the way. So if you are coaching your downline, don't ask them, what should I be doing? Should I do this? Should I do that? You are leading them. Lead them, forging ahead. Take them to the next level. Show them how to recruit by you recruiting. Sharing things that you're doing to recruit that they're seeing are being fruitful. We all go through times where there's crazy momentum and sometimes there isn't. But during those non-momentous times, those have been the most important for me. I do the most reflection. I dig the deepest and I get to work like I've never been to work before. And so it's always just reminding myself, where is my passion? Who am I sharing this with? And who am I personally recruiting to be making sure that my 1 through 4 foundation is really moving? So those are the things that I really focus on. The other thing I really focus on is passion. I always want to be passionate about what I'm talking about. I am not a public speaker. I think it's hilarious when people are like, hey, can you come speak on this? And if you went back and watched some of my very first videos, you'd be cracking up. I'm telling you. Nobody, okay, maybe 1 or 2 people join this and are just a phenomenal leader and a phenomenal speaker and an inspirational motivator. If you feel like you need to motivate your team, look at the things that motivate you. Are you motivated? So many times I feel like my team just comes up like this, like crazy, like they're forging ahead because I'm forging ahead and I'm signing people up and I'm purposeful and I'm passionate and I'm doing videos on our team page. My face is there regularly. Those are things that you can actively be doing to make sure that your team is going with you. And so every morning I wake up and I ask myself, where is my passion? What am I passionate about? How am I going to get that across? And really making it count. Passion will call you out of your bed in the morning. I'm just going to let that kind of sit there for a second. It will call you out of bed in the morning. It will make you get up early. It will make you stay up later if that's what it needs to take. It will make sure that even though you're enjoying and you're going off and you're doing things and there is true time freedom with Plexus, but it still means you're working your business intentionally and purposefully. It means passion is going to encourage you and call you to reach out to people because you're passionate about something. Do you ever wonder why when we come home from convention or leaders retreat and we're like pumped up, this is so awesome, and we message everybody on our chicken list, and then 2 months later we're kind of like, oh, I don't know. We are responsible to call that passion out. We're responsible to motivate ourselves and to have absolutely zero excuses. I cannot tell you how many times I wake up and I'm like, okay, I have to refocus my brain. Sometimes I want to lay in bed till 7:30 in the morning because I'm exhausted from doing everything that a single mom does, and I'm tired, and maybe I'm just in grief still. But there's something in that passion that calls me out that says, you can do this and you're going to do this, but this takes commitment. So really just remembering that and pushing forward with that passion. I encourage you guys to do something out of your comfort zone. Post something out of your comfort zone. Work this like it matters. Work this like you are a newly single parent, because you don't know what's going to happen. Work this like you want to put your child in that certain school. Work this like this is your opportunity and the vehicle that can take you to the places you've always dreamed of, but never had the opportunity to do it. This is it. Do not sit back and let it watch you pass it by. Really dig your heels in, draw your line in the sand, and make a decision to go forth and do this. This is so worth it. It's so worth it. Okay, aspire for big things. Don't just aspire for the little bitty things. Have your goal set, but really have a big goal in mind. Really be thinking, what do I want from this? What is my why? I love when people say your why should make you cry. When I first started, my why was to help pay my mortgage. Then my why was to bring my husband home we had another company from a roofing company. And obviously my why changed from that and evolved from that in a massive, massive ways. But guys, if I wouldn't have had that first why, if I wouldn't have dug deep then, even when my husband was alive and my life was going well, I would not have been where I am now. I would not have been a senior Ruby when he passed away, able to stay home with my kids. So really dig deep and decide, why am I doing this? Don't just look to the jewels and the diamonds and say, I want to be there, but not be willing to put the work in. It does take work and it does take time, but the fruit of it is so worth it. I can't even, it is just so worth it. So being purposeful with your IPAs is so important, and I know that you guys hear this and you guys have the best training. I can only imagine. I would only just love to be a fly on the wall on your training, but really being purposeful and deciding, I'm going to do this. Take out every excuse you have. So every time you think of a reason why you shouldn't, I want you to purposely stop and think of why you should. Why should I do this? Why should I push forward and go ahead and do this? And those are things that have really changed for me. I did a goal setting. I went to Jewel training, and I was just really kind of in my business. I was sort of just maintaining. I was staying where I was at, and I couldn't really figure out why. And I was sitting in goal setting with Sarah Marble, and she had said, I want you to write out your goals. But this time, in the next line, I want you to write out the obstacles to those goals. And it was right then that I realized I needed a mindset change. It was my first goal that I was going to be making without my husband. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I thought, man, I'm gonna do this alone. I'm gonna do this for the first time on my own. I'm really gonna make this decision and I'm gonna go for it. And it was just like, once I realized that, I thought, nothing can stop me. I want this for me and my family, for the accomplishment, for the achievement, for saying I can do this. And if I can do this, anybody can do this. Anybody on my team. The stories that I hear, the whys that I hear, they will inspire you to want to go out and share these products. And I always love to tell my team too, don't just think about us. Don't just think about me and me building my business, but thinking about the lady down the road who we don't know, but maybe in 6 months, her life could be flipped upside down and she needs this opportunity. We have a vehicle and an opportunity that nobody else has. And we have seen life after life and story after story of how Plexus has changed lives. And we know that we have that opportunity. And so sharing that with them can make all the difference in the world. So really just looking at it, looking at your excuses, and every time you have one, write it down and then write the opposite to that and really decide that I'm going to go for this. And my last thing is, and this is kind of crazy, but I'm a red blue. I have a little bit of red in me and a lot of blue in me. I love the fun. I love the Lexus. I feel like a little baller riding in that thing because I'm like, I got all my 4 kids. I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's hilarious to me to be driving in there, but amazing all at the same time. But those things appeal to me and excite me. But I love to say, put your red shirt on, okay? Put your red shirt on and get to work. Drive it like it matters. Work it like it matters. Inspire others like it matters, because it does matter. You are changing lives. You have a gift in your hands and you are changing lives by sharing and being motivated and by being inspirational. You are changing so many lives. So that's just what was on my heart to share. I don't know if you had any questions, Lynn, or if you wanted me to sing, or you just tell me what you want.
That was incredible. I'm so glad I hit record because you are my favorite ever. And you inspired me. And like I said, yes, your story is what is so huge is that, you were a senior Ruby when it happened. And then how many months later did you turn Emerald?
It was 3.
Amazing. You could have totally taken a different everything. And you knew you needed this for those 4 little babies.
Yes, exactly. And that will push you, you gotta find that thing that's going to motivate you and get you out of bed and get you doing it.
Oh, I love you so much. Yes. Do you want to end? And if you guys have never heard Alita sing, she's amazing.
Okay. I'll just sing Grateful Daughter. Would that be good?
Yeah. And then just make everybody cry because it's amazing.
We'll just end it really good on a real high note,
Yes.
Well, I really hope to see lots of crazy, awesome, out of your comfort zone posts this week from Lynn Allen's team. And, I love all the messages and support and encouragement from you guys. And Lynn she really is my soul sister. I saw her winner's dinner. I was like, I know you don't even really know who I am, but we're long lost sisters. I'm going to claim you. So.
Oh, I love you.
You saw me on my knees, crying out to my Creator. You saw me at your feet, broken apart, begging for relief. You saw the fears holding me down, just like chains. Oh, that I couldn't break. You saw the tears drown me out. You saw the wounds, oh, like stripes on my back. I couldn't hide the anguish inside from my healing. I couldn't hide the torment ready to take me down. You lifted me up to heavenly places. Oh, my feet didn't touch the ground. I am grateful. I am humble. on my knees, crying out to my Creator.
Yay, we love you so much.
Oh, yay. Thank you for having me on and bearing with my very basic piano skills.
And our Zoom like audio does not even do you justice.
You're
Thank
so
you
sweet.
so much. I know that you just inspired all 100 people on the call to go out there and live and do and dream bigger. And I just love you.
Yay. I hope so. Thank you so much for having me on. I love you.
Have a good night and kiss those babies.
I will. You too.
Bye, girl.
Bye.